Είναι γνωστό, δεν χρειάζεται να το πούμε εμείς, ότι για να γίνουν ουσιαστικές αλλαγές στον τρόπο με τον οποίο λειτουργεί μια κοινωνία, πρέπει πρώτα να αλλάξει η εκπαίδευση, το σύστημα εκπαίδευσης.
Έτσι λοιπόν η Αggeliκi Pappa, που έχει επιλεγεί 2 φορές στους κορυφαίους εκπαιδευτικούς του κόσμου και είναι υποψήφια πολίτης αστροναύτης,
Εντυπωσιακό ακούγεται.
θα μας παρουσιάσει μια καινοτόμα προσέγγιση όσο αφορά την εκπαίδευση καθώς και το ρόλο της πνευματικής θεωρίας στην επίλυση σημαντικών προβλημάτων όπως η κλιματική κρίση.
Αξίζει να την ακούσουμε.
It is true that everything in the universe and in nature, on an invisible micro level, is interconnected. In the next few minutes, we will explore how on the visible macro level, the solution for climate change can be interconnected with a real-life moonshot love story that includes the genius brain of dyslexia, the power of the universe, and the urgency for a new global paradigm of education based on the values of the quantum man for a new earth of peace, sustainability, and agape, the highest form of luminous, selfless love as described by the ancient Greek philosophers. I'm a teacher of English as a foreign language, and when I am in Athens, I teach in my spaceship called I Love Dyslexia. But how did I ended up building a spaceship to teach, and how does this connect with climate change? 25 years ago, I found myself in the EFL mainstream classroom in Greece, experiencing, to my surprise, that 1 in every 5 children with dyslexia and special educational needs, about 700 million people globally, failing to succeed in the critical skill of the English as a foreign language. I was desperate. There were no tools, no methodologies. There were no master degrees highly specialized on EFL and dyslexia. Well, it's not your fault. It's their dyslexia disorder that actually is creating the problem. Everyone kept telling me. But these kids were so smart and thirsty to succeed in one of the most significant skills for life. How could we leave them illiterate in the English as a foreign language and exclude them from a global voice, a global heart, a global mindset, and a global place on earth in the era of globalization? Things got worse. Stelios, my first student with dyslexia, after changing 10 schools, not being able to bear the Greek education system, decided to leave Greece and he flew to the United States without graduating from high school. And Nicholas, my second student with dyslexia. After a lot of severe bullying in school, he actually ended up his life living an immense, deep, excruciating pain in my heart forever. Soon after, I was fired from every school that I was teaching simply because I denied to follow the norm. I just wanted to do everything differently in order to be able to include my students with dyslexia and everyone in my classrooms equally. In fact, by close observations of my students and by being helped with my own kind of dyslexia, I started to create my own tools in order to be able to support my students and teach them the impossible. It was then when, for the first time, I heard about Marianne Wolf, and I actually flew over to the United States to meet her in person in Boston. This wonderful cognitive neuroscientist gave a new research to humanity about the human brain, and she was the first who said that the human brain was not born to read and write, and that there are no areas in the brain that they're there specifically for reading and write. So, if there are no areas in the brain for reading and write, dyslexia could not be a disorder. And it was only a smart brain that just learns differently. Suddenly, my quest to be able to create the first method globally for EFL and dyslexia did not sound that crazy. 8 years later, in 2009, after a lot of effort and focused work, against all odds, with the support of my students and with the support of my tutors in the UK, I managed to create the first globally organization for EFL and dyslexia and the first method for EFL and dyslexia in the world. And after that, I managed to travel to more than 20 countries globally to support millions of students internationally. But the magic had just started. The deep questions of my students during our lessons made me realize the dyslexia brain somehow reflects so clearly the structure of the universe. To be able to actually learn present simple, simple past, all tenses and graphemes in English, they were actually asking me to define time and space scientifically, forcing me to connect the big picture of cosmos with the challenging for them EFL skills to help them understand better. So I started studying science again. This time, the theory of relativity by Albert Einstein. He was dyslexic and he was very bad at foreign languages. The quantum theory by Niels Bohr and Heisenberg, and of course, the values conception of the quantum man by Henry Stapp, that gave me a new perspective on how we could help to change and fix huge challenges like climate change. As Niels Bohr said, every deep difficulty bears in itself its own solution, forcing us to change our thinking to find it. Thus, if we manage to change our view about nature, the cosmos, who we are as human beings, we could possibly be empowered to be able to undertake and solve deep challenges, the deep challenges that humanity is facing, like climate change. This opportunity is given to us by the scientific insights and the moral implications of the modern quantum theory. The outdated 17th, 18th, and 19th century Newtonian mechanical fixed cosmic worldview, together with the shallow self-image of man as a cog in it, has completely replaced by the radically different quantum theory that actually has proved that all in nature are energetically interconnected as one. So we are literally the universe that is actually collaborating with us. It is not a fixed universe. It is a universe that collaborates with us. It is participatory through consciousness. And as Mikio Kaku says, again, he was dyslexic and he's not able to learn foreign languages. What we consider impossible are simply engineering problems. There is no law of physics preventing anything to become possible. Isn't that amazing? This new enlarged image of the quantum cosmos and man endows human life with higher values and responsibility, meaning, purposefulness, optimism, and deeper linkage to nature and cosmos as a whole. As a result of classroom practices in 2017, my students, having managed to build a strong EFL global voice against the odds, and of course self-confidence through pioneering scientific knowledge with 3D consciousness-based paradigm, came with me in the United Nations to announce their SOS for Love project by 3D Cosmos. SOS for Love project means students organize solutions for higher love and peace in the world, acting on the 17 goals of sustainable development, including those on climate change, highlighting the urgency for pedagogy for love through a new paradigm of global pedagogy based on quantum theory, cultivating cosmic citizenship education. In the last 3 years, more than 1 million students and people from more than 100 countries all over the world, with the support of the Minister of Education of Tucumán, Argentina and Cyprus, have been reached through SOS for Love collective actions, making a significant difference on climate change and all SDGs. I'm so deeply grateful to all of them for making this miracle come true. With SOS for Love Goes to Space application and action, students and ambassadors all over the world get actually informed about how they can use space technology in order to organize solutions on climate change, and the augmented reality astronauts of the application make possible for the students to send their SDGs and messages to space in an imaginative way, reminding to all of us that we are the universe. Last but not least, SOS for Love project connected with active Roscosmos cosmonauts and Hans Joachim Schallenberg, who actually he is the most prominent scientist on climate change, most probably the greatest scientist in climate change in the world, and he gave me a handwritten autograph saying, SOS for Love will save the world. It is true, he gave this to me. This is the quantum weirdness, isn't it? I mean, what were the real chances to get a note like this from a prominent climate change scientist like this? And we also collaborated with the former NASA astronaut Dorothy Metcalf Lindberger to include in the United Nations Geneva Peace Week 2020 a series of episodes where astronauts, physicists, and theoretical physicists and space scientists inspire teachers and students to act on SDGs, space for SDGs, and climate change, while empowering a new paradigm based on the values of quantum man. Don't forget to download our application, SOS for Love Goes to Space SDGs, in your phones, and our digital product in Cosmos in Geneva Peace Week, United Nations Geneva Peace Week platform. And as the magic of true love never ends, in the last few months, I wake up in the morning so grateful, knowing that due to all of this passion and commitment to the love of humanity, I am blessed to be a candidate citizen astronaut by Space for Humanity USA for a trip to space in 2021 to come back on Earth and help inspire solutions for all global challenges, all SDGs. It is the science of quantum probability and love in the atoms that has actually transformed our self-image and cosmic view and made it possible for an ordinary teacher to become an inventor, to become a candidate citizen astronaut, and you and all of us, the people who can go to fix climate change and all global challenges. Thank you from all of my heart.